what's up everyone? It's Brittany, aka the Black Food Scientist, and we're here for yet another Science Friday. And I was cooking and I thought, what a great time to show everyone Aquafaba. Aquafaba, what the heck is that? I know. So Aquafaba is a term for essentially the liquid that's in a can of beans. Why is it called Aquafaba? I have no idea. Probably sounds better than liquid from the can of beans. It sounds really fancy. So I was making some chickpeas and I thought, hey, I'm gonna save the liquid. Look at that. Looks like bean liquid, yum. And show how we can whip this up, like egg whites kind of. So Aquafaba is used in a lot of vegan recipes as a substitute for egg whites. And it can be a fairly good substitute for egg whites as Aquafaba can whip up similar to egg whites. So I'm gonna show you how and also tell you why. So Aquafaba is obviously the juice from the can of chickpeas, which chickpeas are essentially heated in that can when they're processed. So a lot of the starches and some of the proteins come into this liquid. So when we're whipping it up and the proteins interact with the air, they create foam like in egg whites. Chickpeas, this Aquafaba doesn't have as much protein as say an egg white. An egg white is mostly protein, but it can still whip up. Ideally, we would add cream of tartar to this to help it whip up faster. Cream of tartar, I don't have any, so that's why we're not using it. So we'll see how long this takes to whip up. But cream of tartar is an acidic ingredient which can help stabilize the foam and prevent those proteins from binding too tightly together and then end up breaking the foam, end up weeping. So let's see. We just have the Aquafaba from one can of chickpeas. I'm gonna put it into my KitchenAid. I didn't wanna hand mix it because I don't really have the energy for that today. That sounds like a lot of work. So we're just gonna let this go on like about medium-high speed. So I stopped it for a minute. So this has been whipping for about a minute and you can see it's already getting foamy. So we're just gonna let it keep going to see if we can get some of those stiff peaks that egg whites normally get.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, this has been whipping for probably about 5 to 7 minutes and look at it. Oh my gosh, it's so foamy. We're not at really stiff peaks, but you can see how much it's foamed up and how much it kind of looks like either whipped egg whites like a meringue or a little bit like whipped cream. Another way to stabilize a foam is to add sugar. So let's try that. We can make it a little sweet, maybe put this on top of a cocktail. I mean, it's Friday after all. Or we can use it as meringues, we can bake it. There's a lot of things we can do with this. So we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of sugar to this. And then we're just gonna raise this back up, add it slowly, and then see what happens. Okay, we've whipped this for probably about like maybe 3 to 4 minutes after adding the sugar. Look at it. Look how beautiful this is. So if we pull it up, look, oh my gosh. It looks so beautiful. It looks like whipped cream or meringue. And we made this from a can of chickpeas. That's insane. Essentially the leftover liquid from a can of chickpeas that you'd normally just dump down the drain. And look what cool things you can do with it. See how it tastes. The sugar really makes it taste delicious. You can use this for so many things. You can use it to top a dessert. You can use it to top a cocktail, like I said earlier. You can use this to fold into if you're baking, to make things nice, light, and fluffy. You can make meringues. You can bake this in the oven, put a piping bag, pipe it on a cookie sheet. There's just so many things you can do with something that you were gonna throw away anyway. So, hope you learned a little bit more about why things whip up and how we can whip up something that you necessarily wouldn't have thought we could make into a whipped cream or a meringue. So thanks for joining me again on Science Friday. I hope you learned something, and as always, happy eating.